What is going on, everybody, on this fine Tuesday, April 7th afternoon? I'm Papa Zethus here, and I'm bringing you another video on how to make the SC Wuling battery. Now, if y'all like this video, please like, share, and subscribe it. If it was helpful and you want to share it to somebody else who's having trouble with this battery, please go ahead and share that. If you guys want to see more of these videos, go ahead and put it in the comments section. And without further ado, let's get to it.
Hunter can read the winds,
so
to predict the weather.
I had a lot of trouble making this battery. I think I spent a few hours trying to figure out how to make it. And I actually myself had to watch a video, but the way this gentleman did this video, it was extremely long and it had a lot of different items in there. Because he wanted to pump out at least 6 of these SC Wuling batteries every minute. Me, on the other hand, I don't use them. I just want to have them, so I don't really need that type of productivity. So what you're going to need to make this SC Wuling battery is a few things. So we'll go ahead and view the chain. This battery itself pumps out 3,200 power, which is astronomical. But yeah, so let's go and view that chain. So I'm assuming that anybody who's played Arknights Endfield and is in Wuling has accessed or made shearnite and has mixed shearnite with water into a reactor crucible to make liquid shearnite. Okay, if you've done that, then that's the biggest step. That's really all you need to worry about right there after you make that. Everything else is pretty simple, because I'm going to assume that a lot of you have also made the items that are needed to make the SC Wuling battery. With that being said, you take liquid shearnite and you mix it with sewage, and you put those two items into a reactor crucible, and then they will make this item, which is Zircon Effluent. And then once they make that item, you take Zircon Effluent and you mix it with Ferium powder into another reactor crucible, which will make this item, Zircon. Once you make Zircon, you mix it with this item, dense Iridium powder, and you put it into a packaging unit. And from the packaging unit, you will make the SC Wuling battery. Pretty simple. Well, there's a couple of steps that you need to add that they don't put into the blueprints or into the recipe that I'm going to show you what you need. So let's get to it. So coming into my factory, we're going to go all the way down here. And I'm going to take you the long way around through my jumbled, beautiful mess of pipes. Then we're going to run all the way over the top of our depot bus section. And we're going to come over here to this little item right here. Okay? And this item, if you guys do not know, and I'm pretty sure that you do, is this item, Couprium ore. Now, to be able to get Couprium ore, you are going to have access to Jingbo Stockade. And there are 2 sections in Jingbo Stockade that you can mine this, and you need a mining rig, a water mining rig to be exact. And there are 6 here, and there are another 2 here, and I'll go back and look at that and figure out why that's not working. Should be a simple fix, probably stopped pipe or low flow, something like that. So I'll check that out later, but not really too worried about it, because as you guys can see, I'm at 58k, so I don't really care, and I'm at 58k for the Couprium. Alright, so when you bring in the Couprium and you stick it into a refining unit, you're going to need Couprium ore mixed with clean water and you're going to refine it into Couprium, but that Couprium needs to get the sewage out. So here's your sewage. Once you put it into a refining unit, you put your water into the side of the refining unit here. And you're going to have to take a pipe that runs out from the other side, the opposite end of the refining unit, and you're going to have to bring it over here. Now I have mine into a fluid tank. I'm doing that on purpose, and I'll show you why. But you guys are going to have to put it into a water treatment unit if you have not done this. But if you do it this way, I guarantee it will work. So have that sewage go into a water treatment unit, and then you can, well, we'll just make it simple. If you put it into a water treatment unit and you put a pipe splitter, then you can run off of this pipe and you can run this sewage out, which is what I did. That's the reason why I did that. Now, if you guys remember at a previous video that I made, I had a lot of fluid tanks with just a lot of different fluids in them. And I did that for no apparent purpose other than to just do it. So that way I had different fluids floating around just in case I needed them, or just for shits and giggles because I just like doing nonsense to see what I can do in this game now. But I put mine into a fluid tank. The reason why I put mine into a fluid tank is because I need these to be up for the simple purpose that I am taking a lot of that sewage a very far distance. As you can see, I put it into another fluid tank, which is 500 capacity, into another fluid tank, which is 500 capacity, and then ran it with a bunch of belt bridges across freshwater, across shearnite, across probably Jinko, and then I also ran it across another item, which is Yazan, and then I ran it into a fluid tank, which also has 5, which goes across the water for no apparent reason, and then ran it across fresh water and into a reactor crucible. Now I did it that way because the way I have my factory set up is I don't have dupes of any type of production blueprint. I have singles, so I'm making every single item that there is to offer in the outpost management, plus a few items that I needed just cause. But yes, everything that's in the outpost management I am making right here in this AIC, and I was able to fit it all into the core AIC. Next thing you're going to need into one of those reactor crucibles next to sewage is going to be shearonite. To be able to make shearonite, you guys already know what you have to do. This is it. You just take fresh water mixed with shearonite to make liquid shearonite. And what I did, and that's also in a reactor crucible, I ran that shearonite out into a pipe splitter, which I brought off shearonite from that pipe splitter, bridged it across fresh water, ran it all the way around my factory, brought it across fresh water, brought it across sewage, into a full fluid tank, and then I ran it down and again across Jenko, fresh water, Yazan solution, across sewage, fresh water, and into the reactor crucible. Now, when you take shearonite and you take sewage and you put it in the reactor crucible, you're going to get 2 items. You're going to get shearcon effluent, and you're going to get inert shearcon effluent. Now here's the tricky part that I didn't understand. With the inert shearcon effluent, it's mixed with sewage. So technically, this is shearcon effluent sewage, or inert sewage shearcon effluent. It doesn't say it, but that's what it is. And you need to get that item out. Okay. So in your reactor crucible screen, your product screen, this item right here at the top, not the bottom, right here at the top, the Shearcon effluent needs to go up here. The inert Shearcon effluent needs to go down here. Nothing in the middle section. So just Shearcon effluent up top in the orange and inert Shearcon effluent in the yellow. As you can see, Shearcon effluent, orange, inert Shearcon effluent, yellow. And basically, you run this, the inert, out, and you put that into a water treatment unit. So that way you're getting that sewage out of there. Then you take the Shearcon effluent and you run that across into your second reactor crucible. Okay? That's your first step. So basically, Shearnite, sewage, reactor crucible, Shearcon effluent into reactor crucible, inert Shearcon effluent into a water treatment unit. Then you come over here to this reactor crucible, the second one that you need. You're bringing in the Shearcon effluent. Now the Shearcon effluent mixed with the Ferium powder creates this item, the Shearcon. Now, you still need to get rid of the sewage. You cannot have that sewage in there. You still got to get it out. So, in the second reactor crucible, after mixing the Shearnite with the sewage, take the Shearcon effluent, move it into the reactor crucible, take the inert effluent, put it into a water treatment unit, and you're going to take the item that you make from the Shearcon effluent and the Ferium powder. You're going to make this item. That's your Shearcon. It goes right here. Now, to make that item, you just need powder. Now, the way I did this, because I already have this at a different factory, all I did was I created a depot unloader and I just run it all the way down the side of my AIC, which I'm not doing anything with these bus stations, so it was unused space anyway. And I ran it across with belt bridges up and around to put them nice and tight and snug. And then ran it across over here, and you can only go so far. So that's where I put a item control port, and then I could take it further. Belt bridge. Ran it across straight down, a couple of belt bridges, another belt bridge, and I bring that powder directly into the second reactor crucible. Not the first, the second. So when you get that powder in there, it's going to be the powder mixed with the Shearcon effluent to make this item. And you're going to take the Shearcon and put it right here. You do absolutely nothing with the powder. You do absolutely nothing with the Shearcon effluent. The next item that you're going to use, or the next port you're going to use, is this port. You're going to take the sewage, that's the inert, or no, excuse me, that's the Shearcon effluent because that still has sewage in it. Once that comes in here, it's going to filter the actual sewage out, this stuff. And you're going to run it from the yellow port. Run it from the yellow port out, and you're going to put that into a water treatment unit. At that point, you will begin to make Shearcon. As you can see, it's right here. There's your Shearcon. And you're going to put that Shearcon into a packaging unit. Now, to be able to make the SC Wuling battery, you just need this item right here. Dense originium powder. Doesn't matter where you're making it on your factory, just depends on how far you want to run it or where you want to run it to. Okay? So, with that being said, I am actually making it here. And you're going to need this item, as you can see, by using sandleaf powder and originium powder, and you'll make dense originium powder. But you'll need that item to make these, the SC Wuling battery. So if you are making the SC Wuling battery, you have got this item. If you're making any batteries from Valley 4, you have the powder. So take this item here, run it out of the grinding unit or wherever you have it, especially if you're making SC Wuling batteries. And here's a belt bridge, or a belt splitter, excuse me. Cross a belt bridge, run it up and around, belt bridge, straight down, belt bridge, and then I ran over here, and I have mine running directly across behind the back of the second reactor crucible, and I'm going directly into the packaging unit. And mixed with the Shearcon is giving me the SC Wuling battery. Okay, so it's very simple. As long as you're making everything from Wuling, especially the SC Wuling battery, you have and the Shearnite. So the Shearnite and the SC Wuling battery, you have everything you need to make the SC Wuling battery. All you need is the powder. And again, you can make that. And I'm not going to really go into details on that. But if you want to make that, all you need is ferrium ore refined into ferrium and then shredded into ferrium powder. Super simple. You guys learned all that in Valley 4, and I'm pretty sure if you're making any batteries from Valley 4 at Wuling, then you have those items. So again, this is just a recap. You take Shearnite and sewage into one reactor crucible. Then you take the Shearcon effluent and the inert Shearcon effluent, and you run it. Take the Shearcon effluent, run it into a second reactor crucible. Take the inert, run it into a water treatment unit. And then with the Shearcon effluent into the second reactor crucible, you're going to put your sewage in the yellow. You're going to run that out into the water treatment unit. You're going to put powder into the reactor crucible mixed with dense originium to make SC Wuling battery. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. That's all it is. It's not a super complex system, but do not forget your water treatment units. If you forget your water treatment units, this will not work because you got to get those sewage pipes out. And then also I created another protocol stash here, which is feeding my Shearcon into. So that way I can have a backup just in case if I want to make this down the line, make it simpler, I could just do it, pull it straight from the depot. So that's pretty much it. It's a super simple system. 2 reactor crucibles, 1 packaging unit, protocol stash. That's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you liked watching it. I hope you learned something. It's much shorter than some of the other videos that I saw. And hopefully this helps you out making the SC Wuling battery. Hopefully it's not too confusing. It was confusing for me to set up at first, but once I figured it out and after I watched the video, I realized that the only 2 things I was missing were the water treatment units to make this work. So with that being said, again, I appreciate y'all for watching. I appreciate y'all for sticking around, and this was a video on how to make the SC Wuling battery. If you guys liked the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys have any comments, leave them in the comment section. If there's something you want to see or something else that you're having trouble building and you want some help, I'll help you out with that. Go ahead and put that in the comment section. And I'll see y'all on the next video.